We are anonymous. No faces, no flags, no permission slips. And today's truth is a beautiful one. MAGA star's halftime show gets brutal reality check. Because it's official. After Trump allegedly wet his pants when he heard Bad Bunny was doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl, Turning Point USA, that conservative pup trainer for tiny fingers, announced they'd have their own Super Bowl halftime show. And normally I couldn't give a what these guys do or think. But as a comedian, come on, this is gold. So let's play their little game. Who would you like to see perform at the TPUSA Super Bowl halftime show? Because one of their loud mouths went on camera like, first of all, shout out to Turning Point when Bad Bunny was announced as the Super Bowl halftime performer. I know a lot of owners of a lot of NFL teams. A lot of people are upset. I don't know what the heck the NFL was thinking, but I can tell you, a lot of people are not happy. So Turning Point was like, you know what, we're gonna do our own thing. We'll have our own halftime show. We don't need Bad Bunny or any of these people. Then he goes, who would I like to see perform? You can throw Laura Trump in there. Imagine how upset people on the left would be. It sort of makes me want to offer myself up. I have not been asked, but I'm going to offer it. Yes, that was Laura Trump basically volunteering, like it's community theater night at a Cracker Barrel. And here's the brutal reality check. Even Turning Point, the same people who think a rainbow is a communist weather weapon, looked at that offer and said pass. In an amazing display of insight, they didn't take Laura. They went with this guy instead. Wear your mask, take your pills. Now a whole generation's mentally ill. Yep, Kid Rock is going to headline the Turning Point halftime show, along with 3 other people I've never heard of. And Kid Rock, who is the musical equivalent of the Melania movie, a horrible, distressing experience, is a right-wing racist who showed his love for Trump by literally shooting up Bud Light cans after the brand partnered with a trans influencer. That actually happened. He posted a video of it like a grown man having a tantrum with a firearm. Very normal stuff. Now these are not good times for Kid Rock or for his big 2026 concert promotion. His Rock the Country festival started hemorrhaging artists. Ludacris pulled out. And then Morgan Wade and Carter Faith also bailed once they realized what they'd gotten involved with. That's not me guessing. That's what's been reported. And the tour also includes Nelly, who has almost as many sex crimes as Trump. And yeah, I know the MAGA crowd hates when you mention Trump and sex crimes in the same sentence, but the man's entire vibe is, I'm gonna do it whether the women like it or not. Meanwhile, Nelly has had serious allegations and legal controversies in his past. Some charges dropped, some cases settled, some headlines that never go away. But here's the real point. While Kid Rock is a lightweight, this Turning Point halftime show isn't just corny. It's a serious racist shot across the bow at Hispanic Americans, because the whole tantrum started with conservatives melting down over Bad Bunny, a Puerto Rican superstar, headlining the real halftime show. And right on cue, you get the same old Trumpy rhetoric. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. Then Sean Hannity waddles in with, of course, the NFL would announce a non-U.S. citizen for the Super Bowl halftime show. And I just want to lovingly remind Sean, Coldplay, The Who, The Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney, and you two all not U.S. citizens, but somehow the one that breaks your brain is Bad Bunny. And then we get the fashion police routine. Okay, I'll be the first to admit I'd heard of Bad Bunny. I didn't know who this guy was. So I'm like, who is Bad Bunny? I know I'm old, but I'm not that. There's Bad Bunny for those just listening. In a dress with some weird white boots. He's got hair on his legs. He's got this big white dress and glitter on his eyes. It's a situation. And as soon as I heard that, it was like, aha, okay, it makes sense. They're trying to shove woke ideology down America's throat. Translation: if I can't control what you wear, what you speak, or who you love, I will scream woke until my soul calms down. And it tracks, because it's no secret this version of the Republican Party doesn't want anyone here but the white pasty kind. Trump said the quiet part out loud for years, obsessing over immigrants from nice countries like Norway and Sweden, while trashing places like Somalia as filthy and disgusting. That isn't economics. That's racism in a suit that doesn't fit. And while Trump leads the way with overtly racist chants, and that whole brown people are the criminals routine, the crimes in this country are not, I repeat, not being perpetrated by brown people who cross the border and work 14-hour days. They're being done by these felons, predators, liars, backstabbers, and by the hundreds of people who stormed the Capitol looking to kill the Speaker and the Vice President. And here comes the receipts. Trump literally issued a sweeping clemency order tied to January 6th commuting some sentences and granting a broad pardon to others. And after that, multiple investigations, and reports have tracked how dozens of January 6th participants have faced new arrests or allegations, including serious violent charges and child sex offenses. That's not a punchline. That's the brutal reality check. Now Bad Bunny, he's basically a classic American story. Built a global career, stayed true to his language and roots, and used his platform to speak up for immigrants and marginalized people. Even Ricky Martin publicly praised him for staying true to Puerto Rico. And yes, Bad Bunny has slammed ICE in public, and people are speculating whether he'll do it again at the Super Bowl because he's made comments about not wanting immigration raids outside his concerts, and he's been outspoken lately. But the MAGA backlash is unhinged. You get these dudes whining like, the bunny hates America, hates President Trump, hates ICE, hates the English language. It's yet another reason to not watch football. And then they clutch pearls about the Super Bowl being a monument to America and say, in an ideal world, the celebrities would speak English. That's the tell right there. Not patriotism control. If you don't sound like them, you don't count. And speaking of Puerto Rico, remember Trump visiting after Hurricane Maria, the paper towel toss, the self-congratulations, the whole "this is fine" performance in the middle of a humanitarian crisis. There's actual documented history of him publicly attacking San Juan's Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz after she criticized the slow federal response. That's your pro-America hero, a man who treats U.S. citizens like an inconvenience when they don't clap on command. And then there's DHS and the whole "we're going to the Super Bowl to look for undocumented people" energy that pops up around these immigration crackdowns. Here's the part that kills me. The lowest ticket prices for a Super Bowl nosebleed are reportedly in the thousands. And we're supposed to believe a guy working 14-hour days picking strawberries is going to drop months of pay to attend a game he doesn't even like. Be serious. So back to the halftime show. The idea that Bad Bunny is un-American and that MAGA conservatives need to substitute their own show says a lot about this country, and none of it is new. America has a long history of trying to gatekeep culture, banning black artists from white radio for decades, then watching white bands get rich off the sound anyway. The only thing that changes is which group they panic about this week, and that's why I'm watching this year. Not because I care about football, because this is bigger than a game or a song. This is a preview. In the next few decades, the old guard's default face won't be the majority in America anymore. And I have absolutely no problem with that. The real Americans are the people who work, who build, who show up, who forgive this country even when it spits in their face. So yeah, Turning Point can stream their all-American halftime show with Kid Rock and the Who Squad, while Bad Bunny headlines the real stage on February 8th, 2026 at Levi's Stadium. One side is screaming about glitter and Spanish. The other side is just existing, succeeding, and dragging the future into the present. And if you're still watching this, you already know which side is terrified. Anonymous out. If you're done letting clowns like Trump and his MAGA circus decide who belongs in America, share this video and keep your eyes open, because the next reality check is coming fast. We are anonymous. We do not forgive. We do not forget.